Hello, hello. Welcome back to Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust. If you're a travel advisor or a travel loving entrepreneur who's ready to grow your business online and get more dreamy clients, you're in the right place. Today, we are diving into something so powerful, and it is something that I get asked all the time. And this is going to be a super juicy episode. So make sure you have pen and paper to take some notes with some actionable takeaways, because we are going to be talking about Instagram and Facebook and growing your business on both of those platforms. Now, a lot of these strategies can also be implemented on your other social media platforms. So like if you have a LinkedIn, Threads, TikTok, that's the only three I can think of off the top of my head. But even if you're using YouTube, your blog, Pinterest, a lot of these are still going to be important to do on all the platforms. So these platforms, Instagram and Facebook specifically, can be a total goldmine for getting travel leads if you know how to use them strategically. So think about it. Your ideal client is already scrolling, already dreaming about their next trip. They are already hopefully following you and knowing that you're a travel advisor, that you travel a lot, that you're an expert. They're saving reels, they are pinning inspiration on Pinterest, and they're wondering, who can help me book this? And spoiler alert, it can be you. So let's talk about how to show up, stand out, and actually get clients using social media. So first off, I want to preface this by reminding you, you don't need to be on every platform, just the right ones for you and your clients. Instagram and Facebook are ideal for travel professionals because people go there to dream. Travel content is aspirational, and that's what performs well. They're also visual platforms, and travel is a visual experience. Users are already searching hashtags on some of these platforms, which I know some people say Instagram actually has come out and said hashtags are no longer important for finding resources, but I know I still use hashtags when I search over on these platforms. So hashtags like Disney travel or Disney travel agents, Europe bucket list, all sorts of things people are searching. Reels and stories let people actually see your personality, not just your offers. Facebook still dominates for older demographics. Now, I don't really necessarily consider myself an older demographic. I am 38, but I would say my age and older especially are people who really like Facebook, a lot of times over Instagram. And so these are people like your families, empty nesters, retirees, a lot of people who have the time and resources to travel. You can build trust over time by showing up consistently with valuable content, which I absolutely love doing this piece. Facebook also allows long form posts more so than Instagram. I don't know if I've ever run into posting something in Facebook saying it's too long. Maybe like once or twice, but I have run into that many times on Instagram, where then I've either had to continue what I'm posting like in the comments or shorten it up a little bit. Facebook, though, is allowing more of those things. So if you don't have a blog, Facebook can be a really nice alternative, especially if it's a public post where it's searchable, for you to be putting out that kind of long form content. But Facebook is also allowing for group connections and more storytelling, whereas Instagram is going to let you create quick, eye-catching wins with reels and carousel tips. And on any of these platforms, your followers are just one DM away from becoming your next client. So let's dive into some tips. The first one is that it is going to be key for you to optimize your bio and your profile. So if someone lands on your profile, you have about 3 seconds to capture their attention. Our attention spans these days, friends, are close to nothing, right? So we have to stand out somehow. So these are some tips for your bio. So the first thing is your bio should be clear. Who do you help and how do you help them? So who do you help? How do you help them? And with all these, ChatGPT can be really helpful for you to okay, help me create my bio on Facebook. This is what I do, yada, yada, yada. Ask me some questions. Ask ChatGPT to ask you some questions that you can answer so that it can help you create a very clear and concise bio. So your bio should be clear. It also should be specific. Mention your niche. So if you're just saying you're a travel agent or even a travel agent for families, that's really broad. Is there any way that you can niche down a little more? So like me, Disney and cruising. So Disney, cruises, Universal, maybe national parks, luxury, family. Yes, maybe you want to say family with small kids, Europe, etc. Do you have something actionable? So a call to action in your bio, such as grab my free travel checklist or book a free call, get a quote today, things like that. And if you don't yet have a lead magnet, I'm going to share at the end a little bit more about my travel agent marketing studio where I can help you do this so easily. So putting some sort of call to action there so that, and along with that, the next tip is that you have a link. Link ready. Your bio is link ready. So you can use Linktree if you want, if you have multiple links, or something like Milkshake. Milkshake's really kind of fun to play around with. Or even a custom landing page if you have your own website to share multiple offers. Now, you might not have multiple offers, especially as a travel advisor. That's okay. Maybe your offer is, a link for a quote, whatever your quote process is, whether you want people to fill out a form first, and then once they fill out the form, then they can book a call, or whether you book a call first, then they fill out a form, whatever. Maybe you just have one link for that. That's totally fine. But there should be some sort of link that is a passive way for people to get in touch with you about using your services. I hate when I have friends posting about what they're offering and there is no way for me to buy it without messaging them and asking, for more info or whatnot. Like, I want a way that when I see it for the first time, I can click and I can purchase. I had a friend selling, I want to say it was like a Mary Kay type of deal. And I really, in the moment, wanted whatever, like a primer or something. And I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled on her page, could not find a link. And I'm like, I'm just not buying it. Like, I'm just not buying it. Like, I found something else that was like, what do they call that? Like an easier barrier to entry for me to get what I wanted in that moment. So have some sort of link that people can use to get a quote from you, to start working for you, to raise their hand that they are ready. Another thing, if you do, what are they called? Stories. My mind went blank for a second. If you do stories, this is more so on Instagram. They have the feature on Facebook. It's kind of hard to find it. And honestly, I don't think people use it. But if you do stories, I recommend adding branded highlight covers to keep your content front and center and to make it just look more professional. If you don't know what this means, or this is over your head, just ignore this because it is not necessary at all. But I know I love when I go on an Instagram page and the highlights have different branded covers. I don't know. There's something about that I'm like, ooh, this person is very polished. So if you know what that means, you know how to do it, great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll worry about that later. Something else you've probably seen more so on Instagram, because you have a little bit more room to do this on Instagram in the bio, but use emoji bullets to break up your bio and to make it easier to scan. So I like when the bio is really nicely formatted. So, I recommend going to a few different accounts of people you follow that have a professional Instagram and they're using it in a professional way. I guarantee they probably do this in some sort of way. So look at how they've actually formatted the bio. A tip for this is to write your bio in the note section of your phone first and do the formatting the way you want it. So, something on line 1 and something on line 2, etc., and then copy it and paste it into Instagram, because Instagram, if you're typing directly into the app, and you've probably figured this out already, it doesn't have an enter key where you can like go down a line, or at least it hasn't in a really long time. I know my account doesn't have the ability to do that. So people are doing that in their notes section of their phone and then they're copying it over. So fun fact there. Now, once you have posts, both Facebook, well, I guess I should say Facebook if you have a creator account or a professional account, and Instagram, you can pin your best posts. So Instagram, you can pin your top 3, and Facebook, you can pin your top post. I don't think you can pin more than one. Maybe you can, but everything that I've seen, I'm pretty sure it's just one. So pin your best posts. This can be a client testimonial, a planning video, behind the scenes, to the top of your Instagram grid, so that when people are finding you for the first time, they're able to get a really good sense of, you and working with you and what you're all about right off the bat. And then on Facebook, make sure your cover photo includes your offer and a link in the caption. A lot of people miss this. So on my Facebook, actually, let me pull it up right now so I can tell you exactly what's on there. Pause, please. Let me click on the cover. So the way you do this is you'll click on the cover itself, the cover photo itself. Oh no, I think my internet just froze. Okay, well, I can't do that, but click on the cover photo itself, and then there will be a place for you to edit the caption. That's where you'll do this. And I have on there a link to my Facebook group for people who want to be my clients. So let me make sure this is still recording. Okay, it is. Okay, sorry, technical issues. So people who might be booking travel with me, I also have a link for my Facebook groups for travel agents. I have 2 different groups. I might have something else linked right now, but sorry, I can't check it. But, make sure your cover photo includes those because again, like I mentioned, you want to make this super easy for people to work with you. Don't be the person who I wanted to work with her, but I didn't know how and I didn't feel like reaching out, right? Make it easy for people. And then use your personal profiles, intro and bio section for lead generation as well. Make sure you have on here that you're a travel advisor, what your specialties are, how people can work with you, because especially on Facebook, a lot of my leads and clients come from my personal wall. So I want to make sure my personal Facebook is also very optimized for this. Your goal in all of this is to make it obvious what you do and how to take the next step with you. Because again, people don't remember. We need to make this flawless for them. Okay. Next strategy we're going to talk about is how to use stories, reels, and Facebook groups effectively. So these are 3 very different things, but I'm going to do a nice rundown of these where, again, please take notes on this. Come back, head to my Facebook group. My Facebook group, oh gosh, I should know what it's called. Pause, please. My one Facebook group is selling Disney and Universal for travel agents, travel agent tips for selling Disney and Universal rather, but head to the profitable marketing and systems for travelpreneurs and travel agents groups. It is linked in the bio, and ask questions about these if you have them, because these again are going to be the things that take your business to the next level. So these tools are made for connection and visibility. So let's start with stories. Some tips for stories. Use polls to ask, where are you dreaming of going next? Or something simple like beach or mountains, airplane or boat, or airplane or train, river cruising or ocean cruising, things like that, because people like to give a quick answer. People love interacting in that sort of way. You can also share countdowns to your next trip or your clients' trips. You can show your day-to-day behind the scenes. People eat this up. I know I love watching this in people's stories. What's it look like to book a flight? What does it look like to plan a trip? What are the steps that you're doing behind the scenes? How are you registering your bookings? Share tips, share tips on, one of the things that is a big thing here in the US is the Real ID is finally, the deadline is looming. I think it's May 7th. And this deadline I think it started off, the deadline was 2023 when we were using it. It kept getting pushed. So people were ignoring it. Well, now the lines at the DMVs are insane because you're not going to be able to fly in the United States without this or a passport. So people are finally oh, this is a real thing. So I have been sharing tips and sharing this on my Facebook and in my stories, because when talking with people still don't know. And I'm how do you not know this, right? So that's one of the things that I'm sharing. You can also highlight client trips in real time, of course, with permission. And I don't ever try to, unless they say it's okay, use people's last names, just maybe first names. Or I have seen a lot of travel advisors say the M family is in Disney, or the S family just booked a cruise with me, things like that. Okay, so that's stories in a nutshell. Reels. Do voiceover tip reels. I love doing these. So this is one thing that I do with these is I will use B-roll. So I'll do a video of everything in my bag, and then I will click to add my voiceover, and it'll be 3 things I pack for every international flight. You can also use trending audio and pair it with a destination clip or tip. Create before and after trip planning transformations. Those are really fun, and you get a chance to be really creative with those. Use reels also to share client testimonials or story style booking journeys. So those are just some things. All those don't have to be done in a reel though. So if you're more a carousel girly, go for it. Just know that video is still super, super hot across all the platforms. So if you use it, you have a better chance of being, shown. But I do know with Instagram currently is still very much pushing out carousels too. So feel free to use some of those in carousels. And then the third thing, Facebook groups. I'm a huge fan of Facebook groups. I know I've mentioned that on the show many a time. My only caveat with a Facebook group is don't start one if you hate Facebook groups. Okay. Like I'm thinking of a client who absolutely hates Facebook and being in a Facebook group, but has a Facebook group, but then she's not always showing up the best possible way that she could be in it and using it to its full potential. So it's just kind of like mediocre, like people aren't really doing much in it. A Facebook group, if you do it and you do it well and you focus on it, can be really, really awesome and really magical for your business. But this is one of those things, like if you don't like it, then don't do it, right? With all of this, that is the thing. Reels sometimes are a challenge for me, so I don't always do them, right? Stories, pretty an easy thing for me. So I like doing those. So focus on the things you like doing and then add maybe some of these as like down the road sort of deal. So with Facebook groups, you can start your own group for your niche, like magical. Well, you got to be careful with the word Disney, but let's say cruise travel tips and deals for families, for teachers, for, whoever you want to target. And then in your group, post weekly questions, give travel tips, maybe a photo prompt. You could go live weekly or monthly with Q&As, destination spotlights, other special deals. You could create a referral thread or let clients know that they can invite others into your group for bonus perks. You could also offer exclusive content or freebies just for group members. So there's lots of ways you can get your group up and going. And I think it's a really great way because I would make it private. I guess I should add that. I would make it private, but it's a really nice way for people to feel like they're a part of a community and to shorten the amount of time it takes for people to work with you if they're able to interact with you in a Facebook group. So one thing that I wanted to talk about with all of this is why engagement is more important than reach. So don't chase viral numbers. You've probably heard that from people before, but chase the real conversations. And here's why engagement wins. The algorithm pushes out content that gets comments, shares, saves, and DMs included. Engaged followers are the same thing as warm leads. Warm leads are what is going to convert people into clients for you. Comments and replies, view them as relationship builders. So if you go into all of this, like how can I build more relationships on social media today versus how can I sell more on social media today, it's a whole mindset shift. When you are creating content, you can create engaging questions like, where would you rather go, Paris or Rome? And then when people comment, because that's really quickly to say really quick Paris and click enter, then maybe you ask them like, what excites you about Paris? What have you always wanted to see in Paris? Why did you choose Paris over Rome? And get into conversations. And you can even move those conversations then to the DMs. Other things you can do is add call to actions, like tag your favorite travel buddy or what's on your bucket list. I know I made a post in January about what locations are on your bucket list. I got so many good responses and had so many great conversations on it because some people were saying things that I'd never even heard of before. Some people were saying places that I've gone to. So I was able to have conversations about those. And those are all just ways that you are building relationships. When you're looking at analytics, though, because I know data can be really important for especially those of us who are more like spreadsheet minded, watch your insights. What gets more saves or replies? And then do more of that. Don't forget to reply to every comment because it boosts reach and connection. It doesn't have to be immediately, but maybe, within 24 or 48 hours. And celebrate community. Shout out your top commenters, post a client of the week, or create a client collage. Again, all of this with permission, because the more you treat your audience like a friend, the more they're going to trust you with their dream trips. I'm going to say that again. The more you treat your audience like a friend, the more they'll trust you with their dream trips. Okay, so let's talk about the best types of posts to attract leads. Because our goal is to create content that converts. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just rotate through a couple key post types. So one post type is personal stories. Share why you love travel, how a trip changed your life. Share, I just went on a Carnival 6-day cruise the end of March, and I shared pretty much daily about fun things that were going on in my day, what I was up to, what I ate, things like that. Another type is a quick tip. 3 things you must do before traveling to Europe this summer. Another type of post is a destination highlight. You can use carousels or reels for this, but share 3 to 5 must-do experiences in a certain destination. FAQs. Turn your DMs into posts. So by saying, here's a question I get all the time, and answer it for people. Testimonials. Share screenshots, quotes, before and after pics. All of these can be testimonials. Myth-busting posts. I love these. You don't have to be rich to go to Europe. Disney doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Disney doesn't have to be overwhelming. I hear that a ton from clients. Behind the scenes, you're working on an itinerary, attending a travel expo, scouting out resorts, things like that. Client spotlight posts. So share, where your clients are going and why they chose that trip, what they're loving about it or what they did love about it. And then countdown posts. Just 10 days until I take off for my group cruise. Make sure you're following along. What would you like to know about X destination, or what would you like to know about X ship while I'm on it? Rotate these throughout your month and you'll stay visible and valuable, and you won't be bored, and you will be showing yourself as the expert that you truly are. Okay, I have 2 more tips. Okay, so the next one is turning DMs and conversations into conversions, because your followers aren't just numbers, they're people. So we really want to focus on starting real conversations. And here are some ways to do that. One is to reply to story polls with a DM. I saw you voted for Rome instead of Paris. And I gave you examples of this already. What really draws you to Rome versus Paris? Or why did you say Rome over Paris? You can also use voice memos in DMs, because this adds a super personal touch and people know that you're not just sending the same response to everyone who votes. You can also use quick replies or saved responses to follow up faster. So like keyboard shortcuts, if it is something that you're saying a lot over and over again, or maybe people are asking you for a quote and you're sending your links over and over again, or you're sending the same paragraph about how to work with you over and over again, keyboard shortcuts are the way to go. If you don't know what those are, comment in the Facebook group and I will make a video or something to show you, because it's very time saving. You could also send mini travel tips or inspiration to warm leads that you haven't heard from in a while, or maybe if someone's going to France and you've been there multiple times and you have like a blog about it, like, hey, I saw you were heading out to France this summer. Even if they're not a client, I just wanted to share this blog that I created with some tips. I hope it helps you on your trip. See where that goes. This is why I love having a blog, because it's really easy to promote yourself as an expert if you can send out your blog link to different people, even if they're not already working with you, so that they keep you in mind, hopefully for future trips. Our goal is to move the combo from comments to DMs to either an opt-in or a consult call. So if you were sending your blog out, for an example, your blog hopefully is also optimized where at the bottom it says something like, so say you sent a blog about Paris, maybe a call to action is grab my list of top 10 mistakes international travelers make so that you don't make them. Grab it here. And it has a link to grab it. And then hopefully the person you sent the blog to actually reads the blog. They see that at the bottom and everyone's like, okay, well, I don't want to make a mistake. And they want to grab that. They have just opted into your email list. That's one of the things that we do in the Travel Agent Marketing Studio. So again, if you want some more info about that, definitely reach out or check out my website, lindsaydellinger.com/membership, because it's really, really cool. All right. And let's see if there's anything else. No, I think I covered everything else for that one. So remember, these one-on-one combos are going to lead to your most high converting clients. Don't be afraid to slide into their inbox, because you are helping them. Okay. I think we've covered everything. So I'm going to go through these super quickly as a review. So we first talked about why Instagram and Facebook are so powerful for travel agents. So hopefully you have realized that and you're on board now. We talked about keys to optimizing your bio and profile. So that's like step 1. So get that done today, because that can take like less than 15 minutes. We talked about using stories, reels, and Facebook groups effectively. And those are stories can be like an easier thing to do, but getting really good at reels and putting yourself out there and creating a Facebook group and growing anything, like this is a long-term strategy. Okay. So don't get discouraged if you're like, Lindsay, this is way too much. Baby steps. We're starting with baby steps. We also talked about why engagement is more important than reach. We talked about the best types of posts to attract leads. So I hope you wrote those down. If not, go back and listen to those again. We talked about how to turn followers. Oh, wait, no, this is the one I skipped. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was going to say, I thought I had one more. We are going to talk about how to turn followers into email subscribers. We're going to do that next. And then we just talked about why DMs and conversations are key to conversions. Okay, here we go. Turning followers into email subscribers, which this is coming at a perfect time because this episode is airing on April 28th, if you're listening to this live time. And tomorrow night, I'm actually hosting a free workshop with my friend Paul Gowder, who is like the GOAT at email marketing and email subscribers. So we're holding that tomorrow night. So head to lindsaydollinger.com/links and get signed up for that. Hopefully you're listening to this in time because we are also creating something really cool to help you grow and build your email list. That is going to be coming out a little bit later this year. But you want to come to that free workshop tomorrow. But quickly, I'm going to give you like a quick overview of how you can turn your followers into email subscribers. All right, here we go. First up is to create a simple lead magnet. This can be a checklist, a quiz, a destination guide, etc. This can even be a series of emails, which I have talked about a little bit in my content. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that. You're going to mention your freebie at least once a week in your posts and stories. You're going to add a highlight bubble called freebie or plan your trip or whatever, goes along with that with the link to your lead magnet and info. You can also run free challenges or countdowns and stories that require email opt-ins. You could offer a first to know VIP list for deals, launches, or destination updates, which I think is a really fun idea. You can pin a post on your feed that promotes your freebie. Remember how we talked about the pin posts on Instagram and Facebook? You can also link it in your Facebook cover photo and your profile intro. Remember, that was one of our things when we talked about your bio. And you could give a mini preview. Want my packing list, the link's in my bio. Once they're on your email list, then we can nurture them, stay top of mind with them, and convert people way more easily. And we're going to talk about all of this future episodes and also tomorrow night. If you don't have an email list, especially, or if you already have one, but you're not really using it, that's going to be for you. Okay. So you're ready for your quick action step, AKA your homework, as I like to call it. This week, I want you to DM 3 people who have recently liked or commented on your travel content. And you can say something like this. Hey, thanks for engaging with my post about the Caribbean. Are you daydreaming of a trip like the rest of us? That could be something that you say. Or what excites you the most about the Caribbean? Keep it light, keep it friendly, but start the conversation because that's how it begins. So before you go, I've mentioned this, I know, but I want to share something that is super helpful for you. If coming up with content ideas feels exhausting or overwhelming, my travel agent marketing studio will be your secret weapon because inside you're going to get post prompts, you're going to get easy engagement boosters, you're going to get some plug and play content like what do they call it? Call to action ideas and content tailored specifically to your business because you're going to fill out a form every month with what your business is, what you're hoping to do in the next month, and I'm going to create the posts exactly for you. It's kind of a no-brainer. So make sure you get in while you still can to be a founder. So you can head to lindsaydollinger.com/membership, or you can head to the show notes. Everything is always linked there. And then there's also the travel agent. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what it's called? Marketing Studio, the Complete Studio. That is going to give you social media ideas. It's going to give you email ideas. And it's also going to allow you to set up essentially like your own little website with lead magnets that it's creating for you with the use of AI that you can put out there to collect people's emails. Like it basically makes this whole process that we were talking about with getting leads with emails and lead magnets. But like you don't even have to have like an IQ to do it. Like it makes it so seamless for you to do. And you can check out the video of that on my website because like I said, it's going to be life-changing for your business. So thanks so much for listening today. Remember, Instagram and Facebook can be your most powerful marketing tools when you show up with strategy and intention. So now go post something magical, and I will see you next week on Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust. Thanks so much, friends.